Good morning, my fellow scientists. It is Wednesday, April 5th, 2017. I want to talk to you about sodium-ion batteries. There's a lot of interest in sodium-ion batteries because it's presumed that they would be cheaper than lithium-ion batteries, given that sodium is so much more cheap and abundant than lithium. So how would a sodium-ion battery work? Presumably it would work very similarly to a lithium-ion battery. You'd store sodium in a graphite matrix as you charge the battery. Now, sodium doesn't really like to be in a graphite matrix. In fact, it likes it even less than lithium does. It might give you a little bonus to the energy. When you discharge the battery, sodium would come out of the graphite matrix and store itself in the iron phosphate or iron sulfate mineral on the far side of the battery, driving electrons through the load. So why don't we do this? A couple reasons. Sodium is a lot heavier than lithium, about 3 times heavier. So that means that mass for mass, you get about 1/3 of the performance out of a sodium-ion battery than you would out of a lithium-ion battery. Additionally, moving sodium around gives you a little less energy than moving lithium around. It just works out that way, about 10% less on the voltage of the cell. So you get less bang for your buck per atom and per gram. So the bottom line is that, yeah, it's a lot cheaper, but no, it's not going to have the same performance, either on a weight or a voltage calculation. So the big bonus has to come from cost. Here's the trouble. Sodium-ion batteries have to be assembled in much the same way as lithium-ion batteries. That means that you need a glove box, you need to remove oxygen and water from your environment before you can even start to assemble them. So the costs go really high without even talking about the materials that go into the battery. In fact, something like 20 to 30% of the cost of the battery is the materials that go into it, which means that if you remove the cost of the materials by 90%, right, even if sodium is 90% cheaper than lithium, you're still only cutting something like 20% of the cost of your battery, 27%. That sounds good. Oh, 27% cheaper battery is better than nothing, but the battery also got 3 times heavier. That didn't help, actually, in terms of your ability to sell your battery. Because if you want to put a battery in your cell phone, the fact that it's 30% cheaper but weighs 3 times as much isn't actually a good selling point. If you wanted to support the whole grid with grid scale batteries, then there simply isn't enough lithium. You have to go sodium. So that's driving the growth of sodium battery research, but there are troubles. I've put a couple links below to reviews that talk about the technical issues of building the sodium-ion battery. But the big trouble is that sodium is a big atom relative to lithium, and so graphite just doesn't want to incorporate sodium into its structure. Lithium, tiny ion, you can weave it into the graphite structure, not so much for sodium. Bottom line, sodium-ion batteries is a tough sell and a tough technical problem. Probably sodium-ion isn't the way to go for the time being. For drones, cell phones, and cars, sodium's just really too heavy and too large to be a great chemistry. Thanks for tuning into the Allen Lab. I post a new video every weekday. Check in again for more on science, chemistry, battery technology, and new projects tomorrow in the Allen Lab.